All right. So it says, assuming the triangle is a 45, 45, 90, and the hypotenuse is a measurement of 2y. So I'm gonna sketch that in there real quick, and then we'll talk about the hypotenuse. So rather than sketch it, I'm gonna cheat and find it. 45, 45, 90. And we'll go to images, and let's do this one. No, let's do this one. No, let's do this one. That's a nice one. So we'll copy that. You guys have to sketch it because you can't. So sketch that in your notes. Okay. Will somebody get the door, please? So what they're saying is that the hypotenuse is actually equal to 2y. Okay. Now there's a couple ways you could do this. It says find the length of each leg. Okay, find the length of each leg. Well, how would we do that? Well, we could think of this in terms of 1x, and this could be 2 times x equals 2y. Okay? So essentially, if I somehow solve for x, I can end up with the angle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the square root of 2 times x equals 2y. Okay. So then I'm going to solve for x because that's what this is. This is 1x. And the way that I do that is I'm going to divide by the square root of 2 on both sides. The square root of 2 divided by the square root of 2 is just 1. 1 times x is just x. Well, that's good. Equals 2 over the square root of 2 times y. But I don't want to leave a square root in the bottom of a fraction. So I have to rationalize the denominator. Now, the easy way to do that is I'm going to multiply the square root of 2 by the square root of 2. But remember, whatever I do on one side, whatever I do on the bottom, I got to do to the top. So then this becomes x is equal to 2 root 2 on the top, all over. What's the square root of 2 times the square root of 2? Well, think of it like this. Let's write this down so you guys can see it. The square root of 2 over times the square root of 2 is the same as the square root of 2 times 2, or the square root of 4, which is actually 2. So when you square a square root, you're left with the base, basically. All right? So this becomes 2y. Now, that means that this is going to be 2 root 2 all over 2y. And if that's the case, then this would be 2 root 2 over 2y. Now, is there a way that I could verify that to make sure that I'm correct? What's that? No, because there's a y. The Pythagorean theorem. So remember that the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now this is going to get a little tricky. C squared, remember c is the hypotenuse. So let me plug that in. We're being told that the hypotenuse is 2y. So we're going to take 2y squared. And so 2y squared is the same as 2y times 2y, so it ends up becoming 4y squared when I do that side. Now, if I plug this stuff in, what I'm going to end up with is 2 root 2 all over 2 times y squared, that's my a term, plus 2 root 2 over 2 times y squared. Now this is an interesting thing when you go to square that, all right? When I go to square that, by the way, this is a neat little trick. I should have caught this over here. Isn't 2 divided by 2 just 1? Yeah. So really, x is just the square root of 2 times y. So let's just do that. So I'm going to say the square root of 2 times y squared plus the square root of 2 times y squared. All of that equals 4y squared. So when you square a square root, you get the base. So this becomes 2y squared plus 2y squared. 2y squared plus 2y squared is 4y squared, and that equals 4y squared. So if I simplify this, I could say that x is equal to the square root of 2 times y. Oh, I ran out of space there. So all that work to double check and make sure that's the correct answer. Okay, let me zoom out for a second so you guys could see the whole thing. Are there any questions on that? How do you guys feel about that? Thumbs up if you're like, yeah, I could do that on a test. Thumbs